Good morning, friends. We are continuing our journey through the book of Job, and this week we are thinking about this idea of being real, raw, and authentic with God, about how we feel in times of pain and suffering. I don't know about you, but I personally am not the biggest fan of complaining people. When I find myself in a queue at a store where someone has a complaint, I'd rather find another queue because I'm just not up to listening to all the complaining words. Or someone might want a meeting with me just to complain about things that they don't like or they don't agree with without any solutions, and I quickly want that meeting to end. But somehow throughout the scripture we see that God, in His gracious, compassionate mercy, allows us to be authentically honest about things that we feel like we want to complain about. When Job was in his pain, in chapter 10, it says, "My soul loathes my very life. I will give free course to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul." Do we have such trust in God that we know that He actually knows all things and we can bring our complaints to Him? When we do, He often responds in various ways, through His Word, through His Spirit, or through a friend that shows us the right way. But He does invite us to be honest about how we feel when we go through difficult things. Maybe you've been brought up where you've been taught it's wrong to complain, it's wrong to be honest about your feelings. I remember that I grew up being taught that children should be seen and not heard. But as children of God, we are invited to let our souls be real and honest about how we feel. If we go to the book of Lamentations, there's a well-known verse that I'll get to in a minute, but the verses before it reads like this: "My soul is bereft of peace. I have forgotten what happiness is. So I say, my endurance has perished. So has my hope from the Lord." That sounds like someone in deep complaining about how bad it is going with their souls. But then the verses continue. "But this I call to mind, and now I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, therefore I will hope in Him. The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him." It is good that one should wait quietly for the Lord. In the same breath, the author of Lamentations said, "Here are all my complaints." But in the same breath, he says, "Yet I call to mind that God is merciful and faithful. He is my portion, and I will hope in Him." And sometimes we can wait by being honest with God about how we feel. Sometimes our souls can seek Him by speaking up about what's going on in the insides. Let's be like Job. Let's be like the author of Lamentations and be real with God about the insides of our hearts.